Imagine standing on a Visayan beach hundreds of years ago. The full moon hangs overhead, then slowly, it disappears. For many early Filipinos, this wasn't just an eclipse, it was a cosmic attack. A gigantic serpent dragon called Bakunawa was believed to be swallowing the moon. Tonight, we're diving into the legend of Bakunawa, what it is, where the story came from, and why it still matters in Filipino culture today. Bakunawa comes from Visayan and Bicolano folklore in the central and southern Philippines. The name likely comes from the Visayan word Baku, or Bakunawa, linked to bending or swallowing. Storytellers describe Bakunawa as a sea serpent so huge it could coil around the world with a mouth wide enough to devour the moon. This myth helped explain terrifying rare events like lunar eclipses, long before astronomy reached the islands through trade and colonization. In many versions, Bakunawa lives in the ocean depths. When angered or entranced by the moon's beauty, it soars into the sky and bites into it, causing an eclipse. People believed that loud noise could scare Bakunawa away. During eclipses, villagers would beat gongs, bang pots, fire guns, or shout into the night, all to force the serpent to spit the moon back out. The mechanism is simple. Cosmic danger appears, the community responds together with sound, and order is restored when the moon returns. One popular Visayan tale says there were once 7 moons in the sky. Bakunawa, mesmerized by their beauty, rose from the sea and swallowed them one by one until only one moon remained. In another version, the moon is a beautiful goddess. Bakunawa falls in love with her, but after their love is rejected or punished, it responds with rage, trying to devour her light. These stories explain not just eclipses, but also why there's only one moon, and they echo familiar themes of jealousy, loss, and consequences for breaking sacred bonds. Descriptions of Bakunawa change from island to island. Some say it has a horse's head, whiskers, and a red tongue, like a mix of serpent and dragon. Others give it wings or a mane, closer to Chinese or Hindu-inspired dragons brought by trade. In Bicol, it can be a monstrous fish or dragon living under the sea. These shifting forms show how Filipino folklore absorbed influences from neighbors like China, India, and Indonesia, then remixed them into something distinctly local. When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, they brought Catholicism and new ways to view old myths. Some friars framed Bakunawa as a demonic creature, attacking God's creation. In places, local stories mixed indigenous beliefs with Christian ideas of heaven, hell, and sin. Yet the core image remained, an enormous serpent threatening the moon and people fighting back with noise and prayer, which helped it survive through centuries of colonial rule. The Bakunawa story wasn't just entertainment, it guided real behavior. During eclipses, coordinated noise-making turned fear into action. Everyone, from children to elders, had a role, banging metal, drumming, or setting off fireworks. This practice appears in other Asian cultures too, but in the Philippines, it's specifically tied to Bakunawa. The takeaway is that myth gave people a script for dealing with the unknown together, long before scientific explanations were available. Today, Bakunawa appears in children's books, tattoos, games, graphic novels, and even as mascots for local festivals. Artists use its serpent shape in murals and jewelry to celebrate pre-colonial heritage. Some environmental groups even invoke Bakunawa as a symbol of the threatened seas that once housed this mythical creature. The stakes are cultural. Keeping Bakunawa alive in art and stories helps Filipinos remember that their imagination and cosmology existed long before any foreign power arrived. So what is Bakunawa? On the surface, it's a moon-eating serpent dragon from Filipino folklore, but underneath it's a record of how communities faced cosmic events they couldn't explain, how they blended local and foreign influences, and how stories can survive through conquest and change. The clear takeaway? Myths like Bakunawa aren't just fantasy, they're cultural memory. When you hear about a giant serpent swallowing the moon, you're really hearing how Filipinos once understood their place in the universe, and how they still claim that story today. Hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome content like this.